Hey, this is a great one for you, Robert. A great question on, what if you're behind on your kind of replacement strategy? And I engage BDO. Where do we start? You're an organization that's late to the game, and you go, hey, third party cookies are going away. I'm facing this challenge with identity. I've got multiple identity suppliers in my stack. I call up Robert at BDO. What is that? Where do they start? What's the first thing they should look at?
Well, it is my grandfather once said, "You were born with two ears and one mouth. Listen twice as much as you speak." So the first thing that we're going to do is listen, okay? And not trying to be glib about this, but a lot of firms will come in and start to present to you a boil the ocean strategy. And well, here's the broader picture, and a lot of what we're talking about here in terms of future direction. But that's the clients look at us and say, okay, where do I begin? Which I think is the basis of the question here.
Yeah.
And largely businesses, and again, having been a former CEO myself in public companies, I get the understanding of at the end of the day, I've got to run a business. I have to make it make sense. So we typically first start with a pain point. Are there a series of pain points or concerns that are jeopardizing perhaps your P&L, your risk model, your acquisition strategies, the fact that you may or may not feel that you're being as competitive as you need in terms of your conversion for what people are doing online now into, let's say, an e-commerce engine. So there typically are concerns or pain points that we start with, and we begin to understand the nuances, keyword nuances of the business, not clinically coming in and saying, well, your business and your direction as an industry is the following. Now, I may choose to operate on a fringe area of the business. So the first thing we do is we listen, we understand, we engage, we look across the entire business and say, what does identity mean in terms of your marketing? It may be identity that you have to do in terms of how you track the logistics of inbound products because you have a 3PL sort of structure. And so identity can take on a form of not necessarily an individual, but it could take on the form of products with respect to suppliers that you work with. And there's discussions that go on that way. So it isn't a clinical answer per se, other than to say, the first, let's understand what your business is, what your pain points or concerns are, what your direction and goals are as a company, what KPIs are you trying to accomplish, either an operational excellence improvement, or I want to move my revenue from 40 million to 100 million within 6 months. We have people that say that and say that's a difficult thing to do. However, there are ways to do it by better engaging the digital conversation that's out there, personalizing services. So this gets back to kind of what we talked about is, who are your customers? What are they wanting? And an identity is extremely important in doing that.
Yeah.